It's okay, you don't have to get too serious. Alright, so what's up everybody? This is Ruben Garcia and this is a beautiful day. And today on the Proven by Ruben podcast, we are at CEED. So if you could, ladies, beautiful ladies, nice, right? If you could, tell everyone who you are, what you do, how you do it, and all that good jazz.
We are CEED, the Center for Economic Empowerment and Development.
Okay.
I am Suzy Hrabovsky. I'm the executive director here. We are a nonprofit. We have been here for 28 years.
Wow.
I'm the second executive director. The original executive director was Sylvia Ray. She was our founder. And she founded the organization so that she could help women find their ability to succeed. She had a sister who was divorced well beyond her children leaving the home, and she was just a homemaker. And when she was divorced, she found out she couldn't figure out how to make a living, or she didn't have insurance. And long story short, she ended up not taking care of herself. She was diagnosed with cancer, and she didn't have insurance, and she ended up dying early. And I think she died 2 weeks after CEED was opened. So it was Sylvia's mission to help people that were like her sister who didn't know their self-worth. And so over the years, CEED grew in programs and helping people find their worth. Not only do we help people find their jobs, build their resumes, build important life skills through internships and job placement, but we found this program through the SBA that would help people build small business.
Gotcha.
And we found that that was a very successful way to help people who didn't know what their hidden talents were.
That's awesome, and we're still seeing it like help out the community, because I went and I checked out some numbers. You guys had thousands of consultations. It said 2016. I'm sure the numbers are still rolling into 2017. So you guys are impacting a lot of people in the area.
We've been here for a long time. So our business center has been here for over 16 years in itself, and the business center itself has grown, not only from just being a technical assistance provider, but to being a small business loan provider.
Yeah.
And now we're expanding into being a resource provider by building a kitchen incubator. So just one more step into providing and helping the community get that step up and bridge the gap between where you might need that supplemental income or that assistance in creating your own business.
Gotcha. So you say kitchen incubator.
Yes.
Is that a true kitchen, or is it just, talk to us about that, like why a kitchen incubator?
So 60% of the people who come through our business center are typically looking at building a food business.
Really?
If you think about it, right? Entrepreneurism is at its finest with you want to share something.
Right.
You want to share something of yourself with someone else. And food is one of those pieces.
Oh, yeah.
We here at CEED, we call ourselves the food testers. We walk around. Yesterday we had a whole big feast over here.
But I came the wrong day.
Wrong day. I'm sure if you stay here long enough, there will be.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I think there's still leftovers in the back, actually.
Oh, look at that. I had time.
But 60% of those people coming through the door are looking at building food businesses. People want to share the food that they grew up with, the food that their grandmothers made. Our cultures. Fayetteville is huge on culture. We are such a diverse community, and in looking at the way that people can supplement their income, you're looking at people want to share that, but the gap to creating a food business is huge.
Right.
And in that is the fiduciary responsibility that goes along with that. And so we want to help people bridge that gap.
Yeah.
And the kitchen is exactly that, because we have rules and regulations as to preventing people from dying by eating bad food.
Oh,
right?
I'll back that.
So we have these great laws in North Carolina that prohibit people from just preparing food and selling it, in any sort of way, so that we can protect everyone.
Right.
So we will have a commercial grade kitchen where people can come at a lower cost than what it would cost them themselves.
Yeah.
And they can use this kitchen to prepare this food and sell it and get the technical assistance in the background to understand how to make money selling what you're doing.
Yeah, so because that looks to be one of the most expensive parts when starting any type of restaurant or any type of food business. I see you guys got Food Truck 101 and stuff like that, and you guys are really helping them out because that's a huge expense. And it's already here, it's ready for you. Oh, here we go. This is your world.
So actually the food truck curriculum just launched yesterday.
Gotcha.
So as
I'm on it.
yes,
Okay.
yes. So as people come in, we grow, and we think of different ways that we can assist small businesses.
Right.
So everyone has a great idea, but how can they monetize that great idea?
Right.
You know, because you can be good at cooking, but how do you get good at turning that into something profitable and something that is going to make you a living?
So what do you see to be one of the biggest challenges they have? Like, they have a great idea, they know it tastes great. What is one of the biggest challenges you see with?
One of the biggest challenges is that it's hard.
They say it's hard?
It's hard, and I think that when they come here, they feel like we're saying, no, that's not a good idea, but that's not what we're saying. We are saying, slow down, let's look at this, let's write a business plan, let's do a loan feasibility consultation if you need a loan, let's see what your exit strategy is going to be if it doesn't work out.
Right.
But as entrepreneurs, I always joke around, I said I have no talents, but maybe my talent is showcasing other people's talents.
Right.
Because you just want to take an idea and run with it.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you fall on your face because you took that idea and ran with it.
Yeah.
And if you come here, that's what we want to prevent from happening. We want you to build a successful, sustainable business.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, and when it comes to entrepreneurial world, we just want to move forward. We want to move fast. We want to go ahead and see the return, like yesterday.
Yes.
And in real estate, we talk, for anybody that's new or even coming from a different firm, that's one of the things we talk about, that this is going to take a while. Like, you're going to have to eat dirt for a little while, you know, in order to build like a solid business that constantly has returns.
Yes, and sometimes, especially in the food industry, people have been telling you, you're so good at this, you're so good at this, and you end up surrounding yourself a lot of times with yes people.
Yeah.
And you don't go outside your comfort zone, and you don't do market research. And that's why we're here, to help you think about things like that.
Yeah.
Because
go for it.
No, you go for it.
Do you see partnerships working out to where there is that idea person, the visionary, the entrepreneur, and then there's the executor, the one who listens to what you guys have to say and helps execute that part? Do you see partnerships like that coming?
Yes, we do have some, small businesses where someone is just the creative vision, and then the other one's the executor and handles all the little small details.
Right.
Husband and wife teams are usually.
Yes.
We see great husband and wife teams.
Yeah, husband and wife teams. Greatest example is probably like our burger. So you have So you have like Rob, who's the mastermind behind the food, and Mary, and Mary, who's always like, oh, calm down, wait a minute, I don't know if we're ready for that part, but but she's the cheerleader as well, and Rob's the mad scientist behind the grill, and but husband and wife teams are really primarily, and they're the most successful, because I think, especially if they've been married for so long, they kind of know their dynamics.
Right.
But we do see some others that really understand each other.
Yeah.
Blind Pig is another one.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So they
they're
have a
Coolers
husband
now,
and
correct?
yeah, Fowler's.
Fowler's.
Yeah. Fowler's Southern
Fowler's.
Gourmet.
Yes.
So they started as a food truck a year ago.
Fowler's Foolery. That would be a great name.
Yes, I love it. Yeah.
Fridays, Fowler's Foolery.
We'll have to tell David.
Yep.
So they're a family. There is a husband and wife team on there, but they're a family-owned business. So it's dad, kids, wife, and another person that they have previously worked for.
Right.
And the food truck was their trial run. Not a lot of people want to do a food truck because it's a lot of work. So the day starts about 4 hours before you hit the road, and then ends about another 2 to 3 hours after you're done.
Right.
So that's why you don't see them at the same capacity that a restaurant.
Yeah.
So, but they told me, they said, once we did the truck event, we knew that the Fayetteville market was there.
Yeah.
So, you know, when we had people come out to Festival Park during a weekday, and it was a lot of people coming out
On a weekday.
They knew that the market was there.
Yeah, people are hungry for it.
People are, yes. Do you want to talk a little bit about what the truck, Alyssa?
Yeah, let's talk about food trucks.
Yeah.
So, who are you? Just say it real quick for people listening.
I'm Alyssa Hennessey, the Director of Events and Promotions here at CEED. So, yeah, so I get to do the fun stuff. Just kidding, it's all fun. But, so we do the really fun stuff that everybody gets to enjoy and come out. We do the What the Truck festivals all over the area. Last year we were in Festival Park on Wednesdays. We were also in Spring Lake, Hope Mills, and Village Drive here in Fayetteville. So we went out 22 weeks. We saw over 10,000 people come out.
Wow.
And economically, we brought over 100, just at our Festival Park location, we brought in over $100,000 to the area.
That's so important. And I love that you're running numbers and you're finding out and you're seeing the result through the numbers because the numbers don't lie.
But it has to be worth that effort.
Right, exactly.
You know, and so if I can relay that, you know, when we go to people and we tell them what they want to do, you know, there's always naysayers out there, people who have historically just, you know, that won't work here, you know, or whatever. And I'm like, if this is the 11th city that I've lived in the last 18 years. If it works in every other city, why can't it work in Fayetteville?
Right.
You know, and so when I had someone say that I'd be lucky to get 50 people to Festival Park, and I was like, all right, challenge accepted.
Yeah, fuel.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have these entrepreneurs who need some help. You know, they don't know where to go, or you know, they're kind of fighting elbow for elbow to get in certain parking lots around town. Well, how about we all work together? All boats rise with the tide, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's team up, let's go out, and let's hit 4 or 5 places every week. Consistent income, consistent people coming out, marketing done for it. We're promoting it here, and that really drives. And when we ended the season in October, people were like, "Oh my God, what happened to the food trucks? You guys quit? Why?"
Oh. Yeah.
My Wednesdays will never be the same.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's just seasonal. We'll be back in May. you know? So that's what I do.
You know, and even when you see McDonald's and Burger King and Pizza Hut, and they're all right near each other, I mean, has a statistic shown that helps bring in more deals and more business anyways? And you guys are just kind of not copying, but borrowing that concept when it comes to food trucks.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I always tell all my clients that competition makes you better.
Yep. Agreed.
Yes.
100%.
So it brings you to that next level that you're trying to reach.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, I didn't say what I did before, but I'm Ingrid, and I work at the business center. And I have a team of really passionate business consultants that are looking at that next business and that next start. 80% of businesses who stop by a small business technical assistance center are more successful than the ones that don't.
Numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you guys probably don't know this. I remember back in the day, I was starting a business called MMA Ammo, and it's just selling mixed martial arts products, right? And I also started seeing Groupon come up. I was like, oh, I'm going to do that. And so I started building something called dipanddeals.com, and I came here because I needed help. Yeah. And then I realized I wasn't passionate about it, and I never came back again. But I will say, I mean, you guys welcomed me with open arms. I mean, we had, and it's probably changed, but there was a table, we were all sitting around it. I mean, we were discussing, like you said, don't just pump the brakes, let's build a plan, go ahead and see who your market is, and all of that. I mean, for anybody who's ever thinking about business and doesn't even try this, it's ridiculous. You should come in and chat.
Yes, and you know, all of our workshops, our consultations, they're at no cost to the client. There are other organizations like the Small Business Administration that are supporting these programs for people who are thinking about entrepreneurship or are in entrepreneurship to be able to be successful, because ultimately they're economy drivers.
Right.
So, you know, even when we were having What the Truck, a lot of downtown businesses said, wow, I'm getting a lot more traffic on Wednesdays when you guys have the trucks out there.
Weird.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when we walk into, the coffee shop across the street and they're like, when are you guys starting with the truck again? And I'm like, oh, okay.
So if it's seasonal, are you looking at opportunity for when it's not seasonal, like what else you could bring to the table? Or get others to bring to the table?
Yeah, and I think that has a lot to do with our training station and the ability to be indoors and not just outdoors. There's a portion of the facility that we don't have money for it yet, but we will work on it. I tell everyone the training station has been a 5-year baby of mine, talking about a business plan that has changed 3 times because you don't have, I'm just like any other entrepreneur. This baby is like any other entrepreneur. We have to go back to the drawing board over and over and over again because funding is something different, and I have to go to the banks just like a regular business does, and ask and beg and show a business plan and all these things. So we actually are living the same thing and breathing the same thing that our businesses are doing. But that portion of the building in the future will have the ability to expand out so that you can, showcase that as a pop-up.
That's right.
Or, have an indoors ability to eat and things like that so that you're not just outside in the, we have some weird weather around here. So,
yes, of course.
And the minute it rains or the minute it's cold, we are not prepared for coats and jackets, and you got to kind of stand outside, and food trucks aren't made for that. And
which might be opportunity for someone. There might be something you can like do an overhang or something. Figure something out, guys. There's opportunity there. Figure it out.
Invention.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but yeah, in the future, I think that's definitely something that we're looking into as far as kind of bringing the outdoors in, expanding that space will really allow us to do some things in the future. We have thought about those types of things. I'm sorry, I keep doing but we have thought about those things,
right?
And and how we can kind of help move forward and do those types.
Where do you see CEED being in about 10 years? Where do you see this thing going?
A self-supporting machine. Right now, we are funded in part by the Small Business Administration as well as the City of Fayetteville, and every year we have to go to bat. Every year we have to go in there and beg to renew our contract and show that we're doing these things, and we need citizens, we need our small businesses to go to the city council people and tell them what we're doing for them and how they need us here. And so we have to constantly show that impact. And so what I really want for our organization is to be a self-supporting machine for that training station to assist in all of our entrepreneurial programs. And we're always going to go after, because we're going to stay a nonprofit, we're always going to go after some funding and some type of new programming, but to really expand our loan program and our incubator program so that we can really be that self-supporting machine.
Yeah. So what businesses have flourished through CEED? Because we've heard a few, right?
Gosh.
Like Our Burger, the Blind Pig. Who else?
Dirtbag.
Dirtbag.
So Dirtbag would not have even come to Fayetteville had it not been for CEED. They took their business plan to a couple of banks, and banks were like, "It's a startup. You're a couple of GIs that are coming into town that are brewing beer for fun in your garage. Yeah, whatever." And our loan program allowed that. Allowed us to help them get past that point, and then they were able to show, in a very short amount of time, and show the banks, who then were like, "Oh, we didn't get it," and scratch their heads and be like, "Hey, oh yeah, of course we want to give you money now," And so that success story is one that I tell all the time, because that is exactly what we want to happen. We want people to go from a small business loan with us to a banking loan and then expand beyond anyone's thought processes. Our Burger, Pressed.
Oh, love Pressed.
So Ashley was somebody who started out as a branding company. and she started coming here. And then what I like about Ashley's story is that, I'm telling her story, but she started out as a branding company and had this idea and then kept coming back and just using us as a sounding board and using the business counselors here as a sounding board, and then moving forward. And then, you know, that's the thing I think the most, is that in business you need those mentors, and you need those, like as Ingrid said, you surround yourself with yes people sometimes, and you need somebody that's going to say, whoa, wait a minute, let's look at this. Let's see if we can't find you something else. Because sometimes you're so eager to move forward that you'll do anything to make it happen. And you'll put yourself in these dire straight situations. But out of all of this, Ashley, woman, small business, military spouse moving here, and she, not only did she move here and then make her permanence here, but they bought their house. You know, they bought their house and their business building in the same time. Within just 5 years. With the help of CEED, and that in itself is absolutely extraordinary.
I have a personal baby.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I started here as a business consultant until I moved into the director's position. And my first project when I started was, I don't know if you've heard of them, 507 Empanadas.
Yes.
So she is an empanada food truck, and she actually has been a previous client of CEED. So she used to own Mi Pana, which is a Panamanian restaurant, and she had a food truck and a brick and mortar, and unfortunately she had breast cancer and had to close down. But during that time she came with an idea, and it was the perfect dough for baked empanadas, which apparently is very hard to find. So it took us quite a bit of time to get her on the road, but she is selling out everywhere she goes now.
Really?
Everywhere she goes. Her first event was at What the Truck, October. She sold 1,000 empanadas.
Wow.
So, and not only that, but everyone else sold out that day. There were 700 people there. And, you know, she was at the Dirtbag Yells Farmers Market. She sold out. She goes to the Karis General Store. She sells out.
In an hour.
Wow. But she found a niche, right?
And, you know, and part of that is, she tells me all the time, she's like, Ingrid, I don't know anything about marketing. Whatever you help me do is working. And she's like, I'm just good at making empanadas. But she always sees us as a resource and as a partner. So she always comes back and bounces ideas. I don't know how many empanadas we've all tasted in here.
Again, I might have come on the wrong day.
So, you know,
we'll invite you back.
Okay, good. Please.
We'll invite you back.
Always volunteer.
You know, right. And I just go back to one day we were at What the Truck in the summer, and she told me, I'm not going to do it.
Not to do what?
Her food truck. She said, I'm tired. I don't think it's going to work. I'm not going to do it. And you know, we had a long conversation, and we said, okay, like, what is working, what's not working, like, what are you struggling with? And it turns out that she really needed to talk to the loan department here. And we were able to, you know, work something out with her, and her dream became a reality because of us having that in-house loan program. So
it was good. It's kind of cool to hear that, right? Like, they were, in their mind, they were at wit's end. That's it. I'm done. And you guys, the problem solvers come in and really try to find out what exactly is going on. You find it and then you fix it, because you have something here. You have a resource here to help them keep moving forward. In that moment, she wanted to go down. You're like, no.
Well, we help fix it. We leave it up to them, you know, because it's ultimately their decision. So we present solutions, and that's kind of when you know what kind of business owner you can be, whether you take that solution upon yourself, or you just say, I'm not going to do it, because you're going to have challenges in business every day. Every day's a new challenge.
Can I add to that?
Passing the mic.
So we also, not only do we have the business program here, but we have other programs as well, self-sufficiency programs and stuff. And just when you were talking about, we fix it and people are at their wits' ends, it really, every person that walks through our doors, it takes guts to come in here,
right.
Because they are probably at their wits' end, or they're nervous. They have a good idea. They're either a veteran who their only experience is working for the military. Like I've experienced with that. That's all they know is knowing what you're doing day in and day out. And now they're out of the military and they're like, hey, I have a really good idea, but I don't even know where to start.
Right.
It takes guts to walk in here and say,
yep.
for a soldier, 22 years experience or whatever, to walk in and go, I don't know where to start. Like that takes guts.
Yeah.
But not just with that program. We have rental assistance program, and it takes guts for someone to walk in here and go, look, like I'm not an addict and I don't have mental health issues. I just had something happen in my life that
right.
I need some rental assistance right now. That takes guts.
Yeah.
So our goal as a team here, there's only 10 of us right now. And our goal as a team is every person who walks through the door, we don't know their story.
Mm-hmm.
We have an average of 15 people come through the door looking for help a day.
Wow.
And so if they're coming in, we're seeing 15 people, but they're only seeing us.
Right.
And they only have their stories.
Right.
So if we can connect with them and greet them with a smile and go, look, I'm not going to solve your problem for you,
right.
but I'm going to show you how you can solve your problem.
Right.
And I want every person who walks in this building to leave with hope.
Right.
Whether it's that their business can start, or that their good idea is actually a good idea, or maybe that their good idea needs some work, or that they can stay in their home that they've lived
right.
in for 16 years and, something happened financially and they just couldn't swing their rent for the last 4 months and now they're facing eviction. Like, that's the stuff that people are dealing with when they walk in here. Or the lady who worked in a factory for 25 years, couldn't work in a factory anymore, got a desk job, and first day on the job her boss says, look, you need professional clothes. We have a success closet. She heard about us, came down here, asked if she could have one outfit, left with a bag, enough clothes for 2 weeks. Tears streaming down her face. That's our mission. That's CEED. It's not, oh, go to CEED and maybe they can help you. No, we'll help you one way or another.
Yeah.
We might not have the funding. We might not have, be able to give you the $1 million loan or whatever, but we will help you.
Right.
No doubt about it. We enable the people to have their own success.
Right, exactly.
We just walk with them through that process.
Yeah. So I didn't know about the success closet. What are other things that we might not know that you guys offer?
Well, we are really funny.
Very true.
We're a funny crew of people, so you come down
so
here,
come for
you're
humor.
probably gonna laugh. No. The Success Closet, we have the rental assistance program. It's called the New Choices program. So they can come down here and learn self-sufficiency. Usually it's somebody, someone who cares about somebody comes and finds out about the program, and then they convince that person to come down here
right.
and participate in the program. Yeah. Whether it's a family member or a pastor or something in that capacity.
Right.
And they come down here, and our goal is to show them ways to get out of the cyclical poverty lifestyle. I'm doing it this way because this way that mom did it, this way that grandma did it, it's
right.
all I know. Well, maybe there's a better way.
Right. Yeah.
So we help with that. We have the Success Closet has been here for like 5 years, about, I think. So we have people who come in, they've retired or whatever, and they're looking, or, lost a lot of weight, gained a lot of weight, looking to offload
right.
their professional
yeah.
clothing. We are in desperate need of men's clothes.
Okay.
But we also don't really have the room for it right now. So we're doing a little revamping to the closet. But people can come down here and we just ask them what their story is. What do you need? Well, I need clothes. Well, why? Can
right.
you tell us why? What's your situation?
Right.
And make sure that it matches up with what they need. So.
Yeah.
And then
computer lab.
Yeah, we have a
Being
computer.
able to,
Mhm.
you know, use the computer lab and making sure that, you know, a lot of times people don't have professional emails, you know, email addresses, and, you know, your resume is a big portion of, you know, what you look like. Your Facebook should look also professional. Because you know, employers look at all of those things. And so, you know, being on the computer, having a computer that, you know, a lot of times everyone's on their phone now.
Right.
And they don't have a personal computer. So our clients can come in and use the computer and print out their resume and print out job leads. We have a job leads list every week. And for us, our biggest thing is the interaction, the personal interaction, the warm handoff. And that goes from our New Choices program all the way up to our business program. We don't always have all the answers.
Right.
I don't always have the means to fix everything.
That's right.
But I can find somebody who can.
Right.
You know, I had a young lady that called in yesterday who said, I can't pay my rent and I just had decrease in hours and I don't know what I'm going to do. And I said, okay, come in here and let's see if we can't see what we can do.
Right.
And sometimes it's just talking to your landlord and letting them know, hey, I can't do this, but I can do this. I can pay you every 2 weeks when I get paid and give you this portion, and, and I can catch myself up. And sometimes in working with landlords, they're really, really, really more amenable to something like that, to know that you have a plan, than to know that you don't have a plan and you're just trying to scrape by. And so we've really found that as a more productive means than just handing over a check sometimes to people. And sometimes people don't realize that if you just talk to somebody and work out a plan and stick to that plan, that people will believe in you in the end. And that just helps everybody.
Yeah, they'll start to trust you.
Yeah, it just helps everybody in the long run.
Yeah.
It helps you build confidence. It helps them build confidence in you. And then you have trust in landlords, and you don't think that landlords are mean, nasty people. And landlords don't think that there's just bad tenants all over the place. You know, there's people in certain circumstances, you know. And so we really, you know, we really open up those doors. And sometimes you need that go-between. Sometimes you need that person in between to say, hey, this is the plan, this is how they're going to stick to it, and this is the way we can go.
I'm learning more and more. I figured it was...
We haven't even gotten to the business center.
I know. And I'm like, this place, it just seems like it's going to be here to help you, at least guide you in the right direction, no matter really what you're facing.
And, you know, sometimes I think that everyone... you know, it's scary to come here, and then when we say, oh, go here,
you are so nice.
It's even scarier because now you had the guts to come here, but now we have to tell you to go somewhere else. And I think that...
It starts building momentum, though, for somebody.
Yes, and I think we're pretty approachable and pretty funny. I think that, you know, if you just
sometimes it can be mean.
You know,
I'm like, who told you that?
You know, and it can get upsetting when that person has been to 80 different places and no one has pointed them in the right resource. So I think we just get a little upset.
We're proactive, but it's advocacy.
Yes,
it's advocacy.
You know, and we are big advocates from the New Choices program to the business center. You know, if a client comes in here and says someone gave me a 30% loan, I'm going to go screaming and kicking everywhere. You know, because
you're going to put this person out of everything.
Yes, you know, and it's going to dawn on me, and you know, it's every single program has staff that is ready to advocate for that client. And you know, sometimes that means holding their hand and walking down the street and saying, this is where you need to go.
You guys, and then, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys have a lot more buy-in too. So when someone comes in, you hear their story, you know what they've gone through. And then sometimes for the other person on the other side, they just see them for that 1 minute or second, that one email, and you guys are, you know the whole story. You know what they're fighting against. You know they just need that one chance. So it starts weighing on you guys a lot. I can see that.
Yes, and you know, it's like that from every single program. And you know, we talk about the business center and we say, oh, it's it's just a business, but a lot of small business owners are full of stories. There's a reason they became a small business owner.
For sure.
And one of our newest programs is the Latino and Hispanic Business Program. And some of the adversity that the Latino population has faced, no one has sat down to help them figure it out.
Right.
And we had quite a few success stories from that program last year when it started, and now we have 3 staff members that are fluent in Spanish that can assist people who are not English proficient.
Yeah.
So in the business center alone, we have 2 of us that speak Spanish fluently, and we have the Women's Business Center, the Latino and Hispanic Business Center, the loan program, and now the training station, on top of everything that the
else.
New Choices programs does. So we're really busy.
Oh my God. And with the staff at 10?
Yeah. and we always need volunteers. So we really rely on our volunteer corps.
Yeah. So they need volunteers.
Yes. So because volunteers come and go, you can't hang on to a volunteer and go, I need you to work 40 hours a week. They just kind of show up when they can.
Right.
And sometimes we have a list for them to do that is beneficial, and sometimes they come in and we're like deer caught in headlights, and we're like, oh my God, like I don't even know where I'm standing right now.
Right.
But we love our volunteers, and actually we were talking about it the other day. I think our entire staff at this point started out as volunteers.
Yeah.
I actually think, except for me, but I came in to be a volunteer, and then she hired me. And so I was like, no, really, I just want to volunteer. And she was like, but I have a job. And I'm like, okay. So, but we...
Well, I was about to give birth a month later.
Yeah. Yeah. She was like, I need you. So we, so everybody here is really passionate about what they do. And we have incredible internship program opportunities in every area in this
One of our
building.
interns is now one of our business consultants.
Yeah, one of our interns from last year is now a business consultant. One of our interns from the New Choices program is now overseeing the New Choices program. There's a lot of opportunity for advancement here. Nonprofit people don't stick around for very long, but there's a lot of longevity in the staff in this building, which I think speaks for the organization itself.
Right.
Personally, so. Yeah, but we always need volunteers, and we need volunteers who are willing to really volunteer, like come in and do what needs to be done, not come in and go, well, I don't do that, or I don't do this.
Hi, our founder is here.
This is
I wish the podcast had video.
I know.
The founder just walked in.
The founder of CEED, Miss Sylvia Ray, just walked in.
I'm Sylvia.
Hey, I'm Ruben.
And who are you?
I have no idea. I'm figuring that out every day.
I
have no idea who I am. We're actually...
You cannot say that at your age.
True. I'm still figuring it out, though.
Well,
It is a constant journey.
And I'm still figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
I like your beard.
Thank you so much.
And
Glad
I
we got
usually
down
don't
the podcast.
like beards, but with your mustache, it looks
Yeah,
really good.
yeah. Well,
You're on the radio.
Yeah, you're on. Like, this is live. This
It
is
is
see, this
not
is what we're
live.
playing. Like, there's cool little stuff that
It's not
like
live.
Yeah. Welcome.
Over what station?
Ruben Garcia, proven by Ruben. AM and PM.
Oh, that's
Or FM.
AM, FM.
See,
AM and PM.
well, do you want it? So for the people who are listening, I don't know. Throw something out there that you want people to know about CEED, yourself, who you are, what you do, how you do it. You've jumped in. This is kind of
dear.
yeah.
Well, I'm Sylvia Ray. I'm
This is
the
cool.
founder of CEED. Started out as a women's center in 1990 with $10,000 and a used typewriter and a couple of desks. And so I've been retired for 2 years and turned everything over to this lovely Suzy and this wonderful staff.
Yes.
And I guess what I would like to say about CEED is that we look at the whole person, the whole situation, not
True
just
learning.
one part, not just
Mhm.
food, not just housing, not just a job, but knowing that it takes a long time with some people
Right.
to achieve some kind of stability. And so I think we're one of the few groups that does that.
Yeah.
You know, and I often say homeless means homeless, not foodless or clothesless.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm really proud of this group, and I love all of them, and they let me sneak in once in a while.
Like today.
From my job as a granny and a dog walker and whatever.
I feel like if they would have locked the front door, you'd find a way in anyways.
She'd be banging
I'm,
on the
I,
windows.
no, I'm scared to set off the alarm. Yeah, but they do a great job, and it's wonderful, you know, and people would say, well, how could you leave? You know, but I said, you know what? I've got the greatest group down there.
Yep.
I don't have to worry, and I love all of them, and I'm grateful because it's hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important. Not only, and it sounds like obviously here, and I heard you say that as well with Fayetteville Dancing with the Stars, same thing. I mean, you're super grateful about that because it's something that you constantly say to everyone else and yourself as well. But surround yourself with the right people, the ones who see the vision, the ones who execute.
Yes.
So important.
Well, and I think the other thing is that you've got to be pretty tough because raising funds is hard.
Right.
And what I love about these people is they really care about the clients. You know, you can have a job and come in, whatever, but they really go out of the way and they really care, which is what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, so we sat down and we started talking about CEED, and I started bringing up business stuff. And found out really quickly it's not all about the business. It's all about the person and the needs that they need. So they corrected me and they pulled me in the right direction.
Oh, wow, wow.
Yeah. So I'm learning something as well, and so is everyone else who's listening. Yep, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just stopping in.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason for this. There's a reason for this. Something you will say or something that you have said, someone's going to hear and it's going to resonate. There's a reason for this somewhere. You might not see it, but there's a reason.
You know, Ruben, right?
Yes.
It's interesting to me over the history how we could be so worried, you know, about how are we going to, you know, I've had times when I could hardly pay the staff. And I've always felt like the Spirit was looking after us, whatever you call that Spirit.
It will work out.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you tell ones who are really going through a lot? They hear it, they hear you say that, but they're still struggling. What else do they need to look for within themselves to push through, to break through?
Well, I think one thing that I've always emphasized is that a lot of people who go to the more government agencies, and they do wonderful work, but sometimes the numbers are overwhelming. And I think that we take a little bit more time to really understand that it's many problems. You know, people come in and they say, you know, I don't have any money, or I can't pay my rent. And then you say, well, could you pay your rent last time? No, I couldn't pay it then. Well, then it's a job. They need a better job, a job, knowing how to budget. So it's lots and lots of things. But the other thing is, and I had to learn this the hard way, you can only help people who wish to help themselves.
Yep.
And if they're not ready, and they want you to do everything, you have to say, we're going to be here, we care about you, but when you're ready, come back. And a lot of times that happens.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. So I'll coach real estate agents, and we're coaching on growing the business. And you know, some they have to meet you halfway, right? They have to meet you halfway in order for this to be a win-win. Right. Because if I'm saying yes to you in this moment, and I'm exuding this energy, right, for you to try to pull you through this, I'm saying yes to you, and I'm saying no to someone else who really wants to be in that seat. Right. And we have to recognize that.
Well, I also think that if you don't believe that they have it in them to do it, then you're really being disrespectful.
Right.
Because if you let them think, well, you know, yes, really bad things happen. We know that. But you want to bring out what it is in them that helps them survive.
Right.
And honestly, sometimes you think, what is really going to happen, you know, what can we do?
Right.
But if you don't respect that in them, you're really not being, well, you're not being respectful of their ability
Right.
to move forward. And then what is that saying about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they've, in that moment, would you say that a lot of people have said that they can't find that in them, right? In that person,
Right.
and they can't pull them through. So surround them with someone who will constantly push them and pull them until they find.
And care,
Yeah.
and really care. Yeah.
And they need that, and they can find it at CEED,
They can
which
find
I found
it at CEED.
which I found out today.
Yes.
Even deeper.
Yes.
Cool. So what I usually do is I'll run through a few questions. Okay. All right. You.
Not talking
Hey.
enough.
All great stuff though. So what do you
Yeah.
believe separates excellent from average?
It's a loaded question, Ruben.
That's why I ask it.
The ability to persevere.
So what does that look like?
It looks very hard. It can be very hard, and when you see what we have seen, you know, then you just, I think in anybody, you know, you have to learn to believe in yourself, and of course a lot of it is education. You know, if you drop out of school and don't have the ability to take care of yourself, you're sort of destined for poverty. But perseverance, you know, I know Suzy can, so we can all say, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, how we gonna make it through Dancing with the Stars?
Yeah.
This is so hard.
Which was
We have to
amazing.
baby
You
the
guys pulled it off.
dancers, and you know, and all this, and getting people there, and it's just through their hard work and perseverance that they had a wonderful event.
Over $73,000 raised?
Yes.
And you just have to keep on, even when you don't want to. I mean, I can remember going home early on and crying all weekend.
Yeah.
You know, these guys don't you know, they were not there when in the beginning, and you know, I never dreamed we would have all these programs.
Right.
Never.
Yeah.
We were just gonna talk to people and, okay, here's where you can go to get help, and
Right.
gradually grow. And then sometimes we found out there was no help.
Yeah.
If it wasn't us, if we didn't figure it out, there was not gonna be anybody.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot of weight. It's pretty cool because as long as you persevere and as long as you keep pushing, even through the dirt and even through the grind, there's something beautiful on the other side.
Right.
Something you couldn't even imagine.
No.
And now you're sitting across the table from these magnificent women,
Fabulous,
right?
fabulous.
Only because you kept pushing and you didn't lay down.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to do it. And I was almost 50 years old when we started. This was a late career for me.
Yeah.
You keep getting older every time you tell that story.
I am older. I'm older than I was 5 minutes ago. We all are.
Just teasing.
It's a lot of energy still. You know?
I like to
She sets the bar high.
Oh,
well, as my brother said, it's better to be seen than viewed. So I take that into consideration.
Well, you made an entrance in here today. Boom, put me on this radio.
Oh my goodness.
I got another question for you. What have you gotten better to saying no to?
You mean since I've retired?
Sure.
Well, I don't say no to anything that I really care about, but, you know, this has been a transitional time for me. You know, I've tried to do some things at my church. I come down here and aggravate Suzy. I have grandchildren. I like to travel. But my interest toward getting more involved in the political scene has grown after the situation in Florida. So I'm quite willing. I've said no to a lot of stuff, over the years, because this was where I wanted to be. This is what I did.
Yeah.
I'm not good at club stuff and meeting stuff. Suzy can tell you I used to knit through meetings because
But you hired a rock star to run that part.
That's right. That's right. She had to do it, not me.
Yeah.
I was very smart.
Yeah, that's right. And I seriously think that's super smart, because a lot of people, they want to do everything. And sometimes it takes for you to, even if you have to pay for it at the moment, but to have someone else go in that realm and do it at a much higher level than you would ever do it. And by the way, they make the team, they make the business, they make everything look better.
It should be better and better.
Yeah.
And, I started out with a little bit, and now it's growing.
Yes, it is. All right, I'm gonna hit you with a few other questions, okay?
Me?
Yep.
We'll help you.
We'll help you. Yeah.
We'll take you off the spotlight.
I'm done.
Okay, let me be sure.
We'll take you off the spotlight.
We'll put Suzy on the spot.
Oh,
Yeah.
There you
Y'all ready?
go. Sure.
Okay, we're switching mics. Who's gonna be on the mic?
Okay.
He's wanting to give me a hard one.
I'm reading it to him. Well, this one's not too bad. Purchases of less than $100 that have most improved your life.
Oh. I can answer that one.
Yeah?
Yeah, go ahead.
We're
From,
switching mics again.
like, sorry, yeah, switching the
You're good.
mics. Alyssa Hennessey here. Just kidding.
I know.
Just both.
Oh, our coffee. We found this awesome coffee that makes us all really happy. It's great.
Okay,
But it is not less than $100.
Oh, well, see,
So,
disqualified. We love the coffee, less than $100.
yeah, okay, so from a seed standpoint, or like in general?
For you, something that's helped you. Well, because here's the thing, like, if it improves your life, would you agree that it's going to impact seed as well?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So-
So from a marketing standpoint, honestly, buying a professional membership to Canva.com, because we do, we're a nonprofit. We don't have marketing budget.
Right.
I'm an audio visual professional by trade. So
Oh man, I'm embarrassed.
no, you're good. So
Yeah.
from a graphic design standpoint, I was like, oh my God, I have nothing to work with when I first started working here.
Right.
So I took everything home. I didn't tell her. I just took it home and did it myself. And then I bring it in, she was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And I'm like, yeah, it was like an $800 program, And, but I was doing it at home because I had it at home. And then I found Canva, and I can create all of our 100% of Dancing with the Stars was done with Canva and my iPhone.
Wow.
I did 4 videos that were showcased and premiered at the show. 100% of that was done off my iPhone. And so to be able, the way technology has changed, and I can geek out on this for half an hour, so I'll shut up, but definitely using Canva and some of the free apps that are out there from a marketing standpoint, and then obviously, Facebook and Instagram for promoting our own programs, which is free.
That's why Suzy hired us.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Go to my PC is mine. I think without it, I couldn't have work-life balance. I have, in the past year, I've had a husband that's been deployed, and between running here and two babies, a 3-year-old and a 15-month-old, or he was almost a year at that point, and now he's 15 months. But between that work-life balance, being able to spend $35 for a year subscription, and you can still plug in your computer at work and still get all the access to the files and stuff that you need. And that was a lifesaver and a game changer for me this past year. Just being able to cope with that, definitely.
But you got one? Since we're going down the...
Oh my God.
Just like, my cardigans.
My clothes. Just kidding.
We have a success closet.
Yes, we do.
She's got her own at her house.
You know what? I'm an Apple user, so I upgraded my subscription from no storage to all the storage, so now I never miss any emails. So that's been really helpful.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so I don't know many people who still open up emails.
Oh my gosh.
I live by my email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we
would die.
Yes.
So if anyone wants to get in touch with you, they must go through email.
Yes.
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 Yes. You know, and it's that life-work balance that
Right.
when you start handing out your personal cell phone number,
Yeah.
you're accessible at all times, and we
Yeah.
love helping everyone, but part of being able to help everyone is
Yeah.
being able to recharge.
100%. And I think, you know, and that would be, would you agree, something you've gotten better at saying no to? When it's
Well,
she's not.
No, she is not.
I am not good at it yet.
Getting better.
Me neither.
But Sylvia said it before, CEED was her thing, and she always said no to everything else. And I was just telling Suzy last night, we were here chatting a little later, and I was like, I don't really care about dinner. I just want to hang out here. So, and it's just, we look at CEED, and it's, for a lot of us, it's a dream job. It's not about the salary. It's not about the hours. We all want to be here all day long because we believe so much in the mission of the organization that we work for. And
Spot on.
Yeah.
So can you pass the mic just real quick? I want to get. So how do you feel when you hear something like that?
Grateful. Really grateful.
And I'm gonna give you a high five here in a second, like a hug.
I do think it is, and I've said this when I was here, it is very important to go home and rest, because some of the stories you hear are so bad, and if you take them with you, you just can't do it. I guess one that comes to mind was a woman who came in whose husband dropped her off. Amazingly, that he dropped her off because he had a gun to her head in front of her child. And grateful.
You have an amazing crew here and great culture, right? Because that's what keeps everyone around. You don't want to go home, or you don't want dinner. You want to hang out with everyone here. That's great culture. That's a family. There's people you want to constantly surround yourself with. All right, so I'll ask another question. What question do you have for me? Turn the tables a little bit. Oh, she grabbed this mic pretty quick.
Are you going to dance next year?
You set yourself up for that.
I should have skipped that question. So they asked me before we went live, and of course I was like, I can't, that's just no. For so long.
Okay, so I'm the director for this event for Dance with the Stars, and it was just on Saturday.
She signed up for next year already.
And and when I came in, when I first got this job, I told her that I would do 3 years. And she was like, yeah, we'll see.
How many years ago was that?
This was my second year.
Oh, okay.
So, so the thing that I tell my dancers all the time, that I am repeatedly telling my dancers this throughout the entire season, is I don't care if you stand on stage and play a kazoo for 90 seconds doing the chicken dance. Are you fundraising for the programs? Because if you are not fundraising, you are wasting my time. And when I'm sitting here in my office and I'm listening to my master of social work tell these broken families come in day after day after day, 10 people a day through the door, and she says, I'm sorry, we're out of funding. I'm sorry, we're out of funding. If you want to stand on stage and dance just to promote your own business, that's awesome. Go ahead, come on in. But you better fundraise, because this is what it's all about.
Yep.
And you're here to help our community. You're not here to showboat. You're not here to put on an awesome show. That's all stuff that we're going to do anyway, because we strive for excellence.
Yeah.
That's already going to happen.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I better have a 6-figure check on my stage. And that's the drive. And if I can connect my dancers who are volunteers in this with the heart of what we're doing, if I can connect them with the fact that I'm sitting in that office watching these people leave defeated because we just don't have the funding. I'm sorry, we don't have the funding. We don't have the funding. We don't, why not? this is a big city.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, you know, like there's more than enough money to go around, you know. And a $180 ticket can keep a family in their home for another week.
Yeah.
You know, so
I don't want people
that's
as
the
they do
drive.
that to and get the wrong impression when she says I want to see $100,000 on that stage.
Yeah, that's not going to my salary.
Yeah,
that's
it's
not
not
going to the cars in the parking lot for the
Yeah.
staff. You know, it's not even to keep the lights on in
For
the
sure.
building.
Yeah.
it is for the program.
Yeah.
It's for the
Exactly.
clients that are coming in, you know. And so and I tell all of them at the meet and greet, you know, I get teased because I tend to be a little too nice and get bulldozed quite a bit and steamrolled from now and then.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Where's your backbone?" Whack whack. You know. And but really, it's because I'm so passionate about what we do, and I care about our volunteers and our dancers just as much as our clients. You know, some of them come in here and they have the guts to sign up, and all they know is Miss Sylvia walked into their coffee shop and said, "Hey, you better dance." And they're like, okay. Yeah. And then they come down here and they're like, for what?
Yeah.
What?
That's my hat.
And it's great. And that was Patrick LeClaire, and he did, and they did phenomenal, and they showed up. Not only did they bring an incredible show, but they fundraised a significant amount of money for us.
Yeah.
And so when I'm talking to the dancers backstage, and you know, this last weekend, I had one of my dancers, she was next up. And she was like, I have never been so nervous in my entire life. I think I'm going to throw up everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter, because the amount of money that you raised is enough to take care of 12 families for a year.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. So when you're up there, and I was like, and you're nervous, and just think about those families. Just do it for the families. And I was like, and even if you walk up there and you fall flat on your butt, it doesn't matter, because all the hard work, it can start,
right?
You know, and so that's what, you know. And I gave her a big hug, and she went out and she killed it. That was Liz Maleshko from the American Heart Association, you know, and that's what it's all about. And we love the production side. I'm a little crazy when it comes to putting on a good show. I want to deliver for the guests.
Great show.
And you know, and I want to watch Miss Sylvia Ray across the ballroom get choked up at a slideshow. That's what I want.
This
you know,
really great.
I want her to go, oh my gosh, this venue is incredible, which it was. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to help as many of our neighbors as we possibly can. The only reason we can't help people would be because we ran out of funding. So let's not ever run out of funding. Yeah. And that's the driving force behind me and behind all of us. And I have people say all the time, oh my God, I could never be a professional fundraiser. And I'm like, I'm not. I just connect people with this story. The story's important. Yeah. And if I can connect them with this story, and they can see what we do, then there's going to be a buy-in. Yeah. You know, so.
Exactly. So it's not so much about the money. It's really big. It's about what the money can do. There's a lot of good that the money can do.
Exactly.
So for everyone, what question do you have for everyone who's listening? So they can comment below. Same question, I feel like.
Are you gonna dance?
Yeah. So I can put the link in.
Have you been here?
Yeah. I think that one question is, do you know what CEED does?
Yeah. Perfect.
You know, do you understand our message?
Right.
Do you know what we're trying to
our mission.
Do in our community, and our vision, and what we want to see Fayetteville become? We want everybody to feel a part of this community.
I think you guys are doing an amazing job at that. And I think, you know, with more of this right here, we can get it a lot more out into the community of what you guys do. Because again, I came in here thinking I knew it. Right? And we were going to talk about, I know. And thinking it was the mustache. And thinking that we were going to talk about business, and it is way more than just business here. There's a huge impact that you guys are doing as well.
And I think, you know, knowledge isn't power, it should be shared. It goes back to Sylvia's comment about education. Education is, you know, high school, you know, technical college, whatever it is, the level that you get to. Never stop seeking knowledge. And when you do that, whether it's coming to a CEED class or asking someone for help, or reading a book or reading a magazine or reading an article or going to a city council meeting to learn about your community, learning what's happening in your community. You become part of your community, and then things don't seem so exclusive.
Right.
Oh, I don't make enough money to go into that spot, or no, I'm not the right kind of person. I don't dress the right way. I don't have the right mustache. I don't have, I don't have the right hairdo.
I don't have a love local shirt.
Yeah, we want everyone to feel included in what we're doing, and no matter what size, shape, race, color, ethnicity, what religious background, anything, so that you can share your knowledge with everyone. And I think that's really what it comes back to, is being inclusive, sharing knowledge, and that constant inclusiveness in building your community. And that's really, really what we're about here.
Agreed. Do you want to say anything last before we shut this thing down, Sylvia? The name of one of my favorite cars. You ever heard the Nissan Sylvia? No. Okay. Well, I will show you guys after this podcast. But thank you so much, seriously, for coming on and not only schooling me, but schooling everyone else who's going to listen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys.
And we have a form for you to sign, so you'll be ready to dance.
Here, and this is when I can stop.
He did not say yes yet.
You have your forms ready for
Yes.
Sure. Yes. My arm, they pulled my arm behind my back. All right.
And of course, it doesn't.
That was awesome.
It doesn't really matter whether you can dance or not.
Yeah.
It's been proved many times.
Yes. Well, like I was telling them, I feel like I'm a lot better, and I know this is gonna sound like an excuse. I feel like I'm a lot better behind the scenes. I get a lot of, we get a lot of people, like we had, matter of fact, we were supposed to have 2 dancers, one ended up pulling out.
Right.
We had Jessica Darling and Stevie that gone on, and we were pushing that stuff. Like for whatever reason, I feel like that's my seat on the bus, is pushing it and getting more people. Like we bought 2-3 tables because we had Garden Rental Management come out there and buy a table.
Yeah,
KW, yep.
Great.
And then being out there and being loud and clapping. And,
He's on the committee.
I'm on the committee.
Yeah. So from a helping us out behind the scenes standpoint, we have an extensive committee. There's 10 people on the committee right now that they all have a job and a purpose and a reason that they're there. They're not there to
Look cute.
be a good idea fairy.
Right.
That's a good idea. Go do it.
Right.
That's how I try to run the committee. And then we also have a very extensive volunteer corps. There were I think we had over 40 volunteers, including our staff.
Yeah, the junior league came.
Yeah, junior league.
Oh,
Fayetteville.